Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is
Monster Comic Reviews.
And we're mobile today. We're going to see how this works out. I'm going to drive and we're going to talk comics, and Ethan's going to read off the covers to us. So, here we go. What's the first thing?
First up, we have Avenging Spider-Man issue 9.
With the first appearance of
Captain
Marvel. With the new costume and all that kind of good stuff. Don't put your hand in front of the camera.
Sorry.
You block the beautiful things.
Okay.
Anyway, this issue was okay. I collect Avenging Spider-Man mostly for the laughs and giggles that the comic usually produces. There are some funny moments in this one. The art is by the Dodsons. I usually really like the Dodson art. They've been doing the art on Defenders. And I like the cover. The inside seems a little shaky or a little rushed, so I'm not sure exactly what's up with that.
Yeah. It was cool though seeing like the kind of villain. Her name is like Liberty.
Right. She's a bank robber, but she's robbing for the 99%. Yeah.
So.
And she's totally bonkers.
Yeah, she is. She even weirds out Spider-Man that's saying something.
Yeah.
So that in that sense was funny, but
yeah.
Otherwise,
it was just fluffy, and it wasn't gut rolling funny like I thought like the She-Hulk one was.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
Right. So yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's nothing to get excited about. I wouldn't rush out and pick up this book. I wouldn't even rush out and pick up this book if I was like, oh, I gotta have the first appearance. Well, I guess if you want the first appearance of her being called Captain Marvel, but obviously this happens after her actual official title does, because nobody seems to bat an eye that she's Captain Marvel here. So yeah, it was okay. I give it a mediocre 3.
Me too.
Okay, what's next?
Next up we have Batman issue 11. One of the many covers with Batman who appears to be on fire.
This ends the Court of Owls thing with a final knockdown drag out between him and Thomas Jr. or Lincoln March.
Yeah.
Do we really think he's the brother?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Some people didn't like this issue. They thought it was a bit cheesy of them, flying across the Gotham and him explaining the grand plan and what. Yeah, I didn't mind that. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
His rocket pack wasn't as much of a rocket pack as I heard it described. It's obviously some sort of flying device. That's kind of cool where he ends up running him through the turbines and whatnot.
Yeah.
He gets all gets destroyed, but of course he can't be completely destroyed because of his
regenerative abilities.
Right. But no, man, I like that. That was a fine ending to the whole thing. I mean, last issue is where it really ended. This just kind of capped everything off for the for the finale of it. And I like the backup story with Alfred.
Yeah.
And how did his dad die, and Bruce saying that they could exhume the body and find out for sure exactly what happened, and that sort of thing, and Alfred saying, nah, it doesn't matter, let's just forget it, let it go. And I just think it's kind of interesting, that Alfred can figure out how to let it go, but
Bruce can't.
He has to keep digging and digging and digging to find out. So I like the ending of this backup story.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Got anything else you want to say about it?
Not really.
What would we give it?
I'd give it a solid 3.
I give it a very solid 3 also. Yep. Very good. Okay, what's next?
Okay, next up we have Batgirl issue 11. I like this issue.
Yeah, she gets to be a superhero in this one, right? What do you want to talk about with that?
I like the fact that instead of that she's once again no longer whining about it, she talks about how like she has like 2 batarangs and like a grapple gun if absolutely necessary.
Right.
And she's up against like an entire league of super powered people.
Right.
I mean, kind of villains, but more on the villainous side than necessarily
on he freaking lopped off a guy's leg.
Yeah.
And they were going to toss him off a building. I would call that villainous.
Okay. So, they're pretty much fighting a league of supervillains, right? She is. And she pretty much has nothing in the way of anything but her fighting skills.
Right.
And she talks about how if she was Batgirl from a month ago, she'd be like, oh no. But it's a good thing that she isn't, as she kicks somebody in the face. So.
Right.
That was pretty cool. I liked seeing her all confident and totally beating crap out of people. That was good. And we also find out that the lady who's the head of this organization was the girl who supposedly had her entire family murdered, even though we suspect that she murdered them.
Yeah, that she was the guilty person of it, right? And of course, the police detective from the very beginning of the series shows back up in this. She busts in and kind of helps save Batgirl's skin. She knows these people. She knows these superpower people, and they basically let her walk off with Batgirl.
Yeah.
Because of her relationship, in some sense, which we don't get a full picture. Other than her husband was in Blackgate when there was a riot. Blackgate or Arkham?
Blackgate.
When there was a riot, and she snuck into the place, and her husband ends up being murdered, and she was there. We don't get the full story on that, but it's kind of interesting and leads to some other potentials. As far as the main plot line goes, of course, the book ends with Batwoman outside of the house, and she's been spying on him. So I think we're going to get a battle between the redheads here.
Yeah, Batwoman is going to kick the crap out of Batgirl.
Yeah, in my opinion, Batwoman's hardcore. If they really get down to being an actual honest-to-gosh fight, which I don't know if they'll reach that point. Because Batwoman's not stupid either, though. She's not going to pick a fight, that kind of a fight, unless there's a really good reason to be having that fight. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, if it came right down to it, blow for blow,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, all my money's on Batwoman.
Oh yeah.
Babs is probably smarter, as far as just being a higher intellect. But I think when it comes to who can put whose boot in whose face harder, Batwoman wins hands down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So then there's the subplot that's going on. Junior's back. A couple issues ago we were just talking about. I felt like that whole plot line was just dropped.
Right.
Well, they picked it right back up again. They maybe got stalled by the Court of Owls stories or whatnot, but now it got picked right back up, and it's he's being really friendly, and you can just
dating.
You can just feel the playing as he's dating. He's dating Barbara's roommate, and you can just feel every time he says something. Of course, we all have this back memory of what he was like before the New 52. We're all, going, oh God, is this gonna be it?
Yeah.
I want to make our first night really special. You're thinking, oh God, this is gonna be so horrible. It's gonna be so horrible.
Right? Yeah.
I got something special for you. You're like, oh no, here it comes, here it comes.
It's a kitty.
Yeah, he gives her a cat.
Oh, that's even more worrisome. Oh, I would have been more happier if we just pulled out a knife and killed her.
Right.
No, the cat is even more.
Yeah, you just know there's gonna be something extra sinister. I just keep thinking back to some of the creepy stuff that Gail Simone has written and other things, like in Welcome to Tranquility, where there's a guy with a bucket that has a horse in it. The horse has been reduced to pudding and is in a bucket. I just keep thinking
I can put it back.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah. But I just keep thinking of all the creepy stuff that Gail can write. We've seen her write some of it.
And she definitely has the keys to do that. I mean, especially with
how twisted Thomas is too.
Thomas?
No, his name isn't Thomas. I am sorry.
James. He's totally.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to see what's going forward with this. I give this a very strong 3.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable. Okay.
Next up we have Batman and Robin with more Batman on Fire.
Number 11. So start the book out with, we have Damian whipping a crowbar out on Jason Todd. Yeah. Totally inappropriate. Kind of funny, but totally inappropriate. I mean, I can't imagine producing a murder weapon or something like that. I gotta be, I don't know. It didn't feel like he really bested Jason Todd, but he did run off of this. I mean, because Jason Todd's not gonna fight him. And he sits there and says, "I'm not fighting you, you dummy." I don't know. I don't know that I'm real happy with that storyline in general. It just seems ridiculous to me to some degree. He is basically this little kid, and these guys are adult professionals. I mean, I know he's good and all, but I don't know. Come on, that seems to be pushing it to me.
Yeah.
But I just keep hoping that at some point here we're going to get a story where it shows
all the Robins.
It shows them basically pulling some funny over on him. Putting him in his place in some way or another.
Yeah.
But then we got the other story. What's going on with the other story?
So people are running around well, the people that have been, their lives have been quote-unquote ruined by Batman, even though most of the bad stuff that's happened to them has been brought on upon them by either them being villains or the fact that they've tried to do something that ended up just hurting themselves. Like, for instance, the guy with battering through his head. It's not like Batman threw a battering through his head.
Right.
The guy picks up Batman's battering, throws it at Batman, completely misses, and sticks the battering back
in his own head.
And he's hilarious because, you know, as he's shouting stuff at people, right, he like randomly, he's like randomly saying stuff like, you know, his Blu-ray player isn't working.
Right. He's
weird stuff like that.
He's totally bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah. So though, and the guy with the cloak on his face, who is, you know, like pretty much melted by his own acid trap and whatnot, he is freaking scary. He's like this giant like flesh thing.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that branding people is going to make people necessarily
anti-Batman.
Yeah.
But it's certainly going to put up the fear of Jesus into everybody to stay off the streets, right?
Yeah. I mean, not that it won't make them afraid. I just don't think it'll make them afraid for Batman. Yeah. And even though it was cheesy and definitely dramatic, at one point Damian has one of the firebrands shot at him, and Batman pushes him out of the way and takes it. Right? And of course, you know, he has his armor and whatnot, so that doesn't really do anything to him. But he has, now his Batman symbol, his little bat on the front of his chest, isn't just a bat, it's a big flaming bat, so you know.
So he looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which at least explains why the cover looks the way it does.
Yeah. So that was, in that sense, it was pretty cool. Looks like next issue we're gonna see the big throwdown.
Right. Oh yeah, because our main bad guy is all amped up and, I don't know, dissolving or I don't know what's really becoming of him. But he's also gotten huge and freaky looking, so yeah, it'll be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
What do we rate this book?
I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
Yep, solid 3. What's next?
Next up is Demon Knights.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a lot to say about this book. Everybody in it gets their wildest dreams. So, like, Horsewoman's half horse. Vandal Savage doesn't change other than he looks a little better, right?
Yeah.
He looks a little prettier, which is funny. Yeah, I mean, Demon becomes big and powerful.
Etrigon's huge. He doesn't rhyme. He doesn't rhyme.
He doesn't have to rhyme
I was
anymore.
amused by that part.
Yeah, but I mean, as a whole, the story is still. There's just nothing in it that's really that great. This whole going to Avalon thing is weak. I don't know, I thought it was kind of lame. They're charging after this building now that they can't get hit by this ray, or they turn back into their, you know, desirable selves that, you know, basically they're not worth a crap when they're their desirable selves form. So, not as bad as the last issue. I actually read all of this one, but yeah, I'm so glad that I dropped this, because this story arc has been, they're just not doing anything with these characters. There's not really anything happening. It just doesn't, there's, there just really isn't any appeal to what's going on. And there's too many of the characters that they really, how many lines in this comic did Horsewoman have again?
1.
Yeah. Why have the character there if they're not going to be worth anything? She adds no value to the book whatsoever. So this frustrates me. Yeah. So, yeah, I give the book a 2. It looked nice, but didn't have much else going for it.
2.
Yep. Okay, I think that's it for this half, and we'll be continuing our drive here in just a few moments and finish the second half of the second week of July.